Hey everyone, welcome to the open source function episode 2. Um, you're about to watch a lovely conversation I had with Laura Montemayor. She's a great software engineer that I get to work with at GitLab, and she was in the front end engineering team, recently moved to the back end engineering team, so she has a good full stack experience. And she also has an interesting background where she went to a formal education in getting computer engineering and also went to a software boot camp. So I wanted to get her to share her perspective and experience on that. Also, we pair on a really interesting project that she picked called Forem, which powers the website dev.to. I was not really aware of either before talking to her. And this is a somewhat large Rails application. And we picked an issue that was seemingly somewhat small, but touched some very legacy JavaScript. So we had a lot of fun. And if you're like me, uh, legacy code excites you because it is a gold mine for lessons learned and interesting conversations. So thanks for hopping on. And I hope you enjoyed this session I had with Laura Montemayor. All right. Laura, do you pronounce your last name Montemayor?
In Spanish, it's Montemayor.
Montemayor. Okay.
It's okay.
I should be better at that. Hey, yeah, thanks for hopping on. I really appreciate it. I'm so stoked to be pairing on the project that you picked.
Yeah, happy to help.
But when we were talking off the record some weeks ago, you mentioned something really interesting. You went to school for software engineering, but then you also went to a boot camp.
Yes.
So what made you feel like you had to go to a boot camp?
So, well, I went to school for computer engineering, so there was definitely software engineering involved. But I guess, I mean, it's a little bit of the problem with education in general, formal education, right? I had like an entire semester for like data structures, and you learn all this theory about like, this and that. And like, I remember even a whole semester on like memory, right? When like, we don't even have to deal with memory. Well, at least not in like GitLab where we use like Rails. And there was all this theory about, yeah, this is how you allocate this and, blah, 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 and linked lists. And just a lot of it was very theoretical. And I had a few practical courses, but software moves so fast that by the time you graduate, you're like, cool, I don't actually know how to do this in a practical way. Yeah. And, I was a bit like,
how did you know that? Like, so you graduated, you have a degree that says, from a university saying,
yeah,
I'm
an engineer. Yeah, exactly.
Computer. Bona fide engineer, but you feel on the inside something's missing.
Yeah. It might have to do a little bit also with like the way we do coding interviews. It's so broken. I mean, this is a very known thing. It's hard because, how do you know if someone knows how to program? It's kind of impossible. And so anyway, a friend of mine had the software consultancy, and I was kind of like, oh, like show me like what you do. And it was like in Rails. Everything was in Rails. And I was like, how do I even start? I was like, but I know the theory behind this and I know how things work, but I don't know how to get started. I knew how operating systems work, but really for this purpose, I was like lost completely. Like no one tells you like, I guess no one goes for that very practical route of like, just start, just do it, just, get started, which is what boot camps are. Boot camps are like, they throw you in there and you're like, I don't know. But isn't that what software is a lot of the time? You're like, you read a problem and you're like, I might have an idea of how to solve this, but I'm not sure. I'm not even like.
And what's scary too is like at that moment, you may know like some classic software engineering design patterns, but data structures like that. You've taken exams on data structure. and you know like 3 or 4. You come to a
Yeah.
problem and you're like, well, I must have to use a linked list or
Yes.
something. And everything looks like what you know, uh, but you
Yeah,
don't know what you don't know. And
exactly. God. And it's so hard. And at the end of the day, I've never used a linked list, I guess. Um, I mean, honestly, they should just teach like hash maps or hashes or whatever they're called in different languages. Because that's kind of it, right? That and arrays, like getting really deep into like the most used ones would be great. And interestingly enough, my first job out of the boot camp was in another coding boot camp as the engineer for that boot camp.
That's awesome.
And yeah, and it's a data science boot camp. And we had a lot of people. So it was a little bit different because the requirements were like you already needed to know how to program because the bootcamp was about data science,
Mm.
right? We had so many people with masters in statistics and like, you know, all of these like very intense mathematical fields. Um, but the practical experience again is like was not there, which I'm assuming was like the motivation for a lot of people to go to this because they're like, cool, so now how do I apply everything I know like in an actual like work setting? Because I mean, even when you read like tutorials for programming, right, they're always like, do this, like the classic like to do example,
Yeah.
and you're like, life is never like that. There's always something broken, or you know, or just so many gotchas, so many dependencies. It's
Yeah.
wild.
The yeah, that's kind of the motivation of what we're recording right now,
Mm-hmm.
because these are open source software, which I don't think, gets talked about. And so I had experience going through university with software, both in undergrad and graduate. Um, and you kind of learn about open source software. You learn that it's a thing. You kind of use it,
Yeah.
but I'm surprised that they don't like, oh, let's actually contribute to open source, or
Right.
let's do something there. And then when you
Yeah.
have professors that kind of push for that, I think you get other faculty and students that kind of, throw a fit about doing actual coding work sometimes. Um,
Absolutely.
but yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's funny that I I empathize with that frustration with formal education. Is a lot of layers removed from what you're really doing. But,
Yes.
and I'd like to hear your perspective on this. I have found myself using a lot of the principles that I learned and uh, and formal education,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm really thankful for some of the ways that it's given me appreciation for. Wow, a lot of the stuff that's happening, technology changes super fast,
Yeah.
but we're actually kind of copying what's been happened already in the 80s and 90s, like with early
Yeah.
software, and it's just
Yeah.
the same thing kind of gets rehashed uh,
Yeah.
multiple
No.
times. It looks different. You have to learn the new syntax, but um, there's some foundational principles, especially in software engineering, different than like data science, whatever. It's like coupling and cohesion, and
Yeah.
that aren't going away.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, what is your experience? So, you have a formal education. Has there been a time when you're like, "Oh, I'm thankful for this"? Or you found yourself using that, even though probably when you're in the boot camp,
Yeah.
you felt like, "Why did I even go to university?"
Yeah, absolutely. When I was in boot camp, I was like, ugh. But then you're right about like having some foundations that at least helped me. Like, I mean, thinking like an engineer is really hard. And that's definitely something I got from like university, right? Like it sounds simple because at the meat of it is really like break things down into smaller pieces.
Mm.
But that's kind of true for a lot of it, right? Like there's no other way to go around a really complex problem. Um, and I think that's one of the things that really helped me. Like you said, also principles like, you know, that you should always optimize. You don't waste time. You're like, um, you try to make things as boring and simple as possible. Or at least like, that's what I remember a lot. Like, you know, professors being like, no, this is too complicated. Like you have to like thinking in that MVP way that you're like, okay, what can I do to make this better? Or how can I make this work first? And then like keep iterating on that, which is one of the things that I love about our company. Like, we're very like, hey, as long as this makes the product better, it's already like a step up from where it was before. And I think a lot of the times that's what I remember a lot from university, like having this mentality of like, software is like, it's very hard to get it perfect. I don't even know if it's possible. But and the more, and honestly, I feel like things have gotten more complicated, if anything. I mean, man, front end, right? It's
Oh my.
like, even like CSS has changed so much from when I went to university. Like, now there's like algorithms, or maybe there were algorithms and I didn't know
Yeah.
about them. There's all these variables, there's all these like libraries, and it's like, it's very overwhelming. So I think like having that formal, like having that just mindset already really, really helps. Because yeah, you're right about the same principles, but I think now we have like, it's way more important to make things maintainable and
Mm.
sustainable, because I mean, I'm sure you've heard of the horror stories of like, comments in like code that say like, don't remove this line or
Yeah.
the entire thing will break. And
That's the bit that I think you don't, it's very rare if you learn it in university, is maintainability. You learn,
yes.
here's how it works. We're unboxing the magic too. Like, oh, we're using a garbage collected thing, and here's how garbage
Mm-hmm.
collection works. And we learned all about the how,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but we may not have really realized, oh, I'm introducing this kind of code smell or whatever. I was
Yeah.
I was really I was really lucky to have one class, which was actually a software. I think it was just called like advanced software engineering. It was called
Mm-hmm.
advanced. It was a master's class, but in there we talked. We one of our main subject matter was writing about code smells and code refactorings. It's all based on like Martin
Oh,
Fowler's book of code smells and code refactorings.
yeah.
It was one of the most valuable classes I've taken, but
Yeah.
it was a shame that this was labeled advanced master's level software engineering.
Yeah. Yeah. You would think that's just like part of the, just
Yeah.
software
Um,
engineering curriculum.
yeah, that's interesting.
No.
I feel like there's hope for formal education of software, because I kind of wonder what other engineering practices are like. Like, do
Yeah.
people that just study for electrical engineering, do they feel like, oh, I don't really understand anything when I graduate, or I can't get a job like this?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
I don't know.
Man, it's really hard. I mean, I know that in boot camps, for example, there's a lot of people who studied physics, and they were like, but I guess physics is a hard one, right? Because you're like, what practical thing can you teach? Like,
Yeah.
drop an apple? Like, it's just so theoretical by nature that it's very hard. But you're right, and I think now there's like at least different options that are not like the 3-month boot camp,
Yeah.
but that are like a year-long program, which I think is like awesome. Like, I would have loved that, a year-long program where you actually get to practice and
Mm.
work on real stuff. Man, that would have been much, much better. And maybe,
Did you get to do any like networking while you're in the boot camp?
nothing. No, the
Really
boot
like,
camp was straight out
oh
like,
wow. Okay.
Ruby on Rails, here you go, let's go. Um, which I think, boot camps are great, but they also have that, I think, small flaw, where they're like, they kind of tell you like, this is it. After 3 months, you're done. Um, and you're never done. I mean, you learn things every single day. This morning, I was so overwhelmed from all these things I learned, for example, for our database, that I was like, and our database is massive, right? And that's, I think, that also the flaw, like, they operate under this assumption that like apps are like fairly straightforward and like smaller, and then you come into a company like GitLab and you're like, oh my God, like, it's so much, and it's so different.
Yeah.
um and
But
I
being
think,
able to break it, but there are like small parts in there. It's just a lot harder.
yes,
And I think being able to break down complexity, like you mentioned earlier,
yeah,
that's huge. And yeah, the more we get practice doing that, and what better way than actual real projects,
yeah,
real issues.
yeah,
Um,
totally.
Yeah. So the boot camp you went to, was it a full stack boot camp? And so you were on our front end engineering team. You just
Yeah.
transitioned, and a GitLab may be a little different than other companies where engineers are specialized in a stack.
Yeah.
Everyone can contribute, but
Mhm.
uh, you were on the front engineering team. You just transitioned to the back engineering team, so you clearly have full stack
Yeah.
experience. Is that something that you picked up from the boot camp? It was a full stack, or
No.
okay?
No, the boot camp was very adamant on not being full stack. It was
Oh
straight
wow,
out Ruby on Rails, yes. Which I think I understand it from like a teaching perspective. Like teaching people who don't know any programming, JavaScript, which JavaScript is just, I mean, it is so difficult. I have such a love-hate relationship with it. It is so difficult, and that they were like, no, nothing. Some people were like obsessed with learning it.
that's
I
funny.
was like trying to focus on the back end, so I worked in only back end for a little bit. Then I started like dabbling with front end, and I was like, man, I should really learn JavaScript because like it is so helpful as well, right? Like in understanding like I mean how can you do anything without understanding the other piece?
Mm,
It's
yeah,
way too complicated to, I don't know, to it's part of like, I like the full stackness of being able to take one piece of the pie and do it all together, right? You mentioned the advanced software engineering, just going back to that. And I remember I had a UX class, which was great. And it was like UX, right? Which is,
yeah.
and like the teacher was so passionate about it, which I think always helps. But it was like everything from like, this is the way the eye works and where the focuses go and like
Yeah.
these kinds of things. So I was like, oh, cool. And I remember that professor when I was like, man, I want to do some front end, because at the end of the day, I worked on this project once where like the back end was like done in a, what people said, beautiful way.
It
But
had
then
it
when the
had
back,
the Laura Montemayor stamp of approval.
it did. But
Yeah.
then I was like, cool, I'll take the back end and try to actually now show it. And I was like, this is completely incompatible with like the way we're doing front end. And I was like, man, there's such a big disconnect here. And I was just so flustered. And I remember being like, man, I need to get better at like front end and the full stack. So
Yeah.
then I actually took a job that was like almost entirely front end, which is the one I had before GitLab. And I was like, cool. And I went for both jobs at GitLab, and just one of them got back to me before. Like, and
Cool.
that was kind of it, just luck.
Yeah.
But it was awesome, right? Because I learned so much, and I was also like one of the newest teams at GitLab, so that was like really great in terms of getting even more front end experience.
Yeah.
And now I'm the oldest one in backend, which is like so different, but it's so good to be able to have that context of front end, because I really enjoy working with front end people. And then we work on things together, and I always make sure that whatever I'm doing will actually work for them.
Yeah.
I like have even pinged them before I send them to maintainer, because I'm like, does this work for you? Otherwise, I don't care how beautiful it is. Like,
Yeah.
it's pointless if no one gets to use this and see it, you know?
And I think it's such a huge. I was thinking of earlier some things I was running into, and I realized the importance of setting up that when you're working on something new, setting up that feedback loop as soon as possible.
Yes.
And sometimes that really means I need to have a walking skeleton of the front end and the back end all kind of together, and I could see what is this actually going to look like. And
Yeah.
sometimes I've been the last few weeks, just kind of for fun, for random reason, I'm trying to pick up sketching and drawing. Never been really good at
Yes.
this, but I've always thought of doing software right is a lot like that, where you're kind of, and that's why waterfall doesn't work, because it's like I put
Oh
the
my
pen to the
God.
paper and I scratch it without ever picking the pen up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Whereas with
Yeah.
agile, you're constantly stepping back and looking at what you're doing or whatever. But
Yep.
some
Yeah.
things that great sketch artists do, whether they do it in their mind or they actually do it, they always like compose the scene first. And that was really
Yeah.
mind blowing to me. Of like, you see the final thing looks ultra realistic, But behind the
Yeah,
scenes, layers and layers and layers, you see here's a circle, which is the top part of the head, and here,
yeah.
and, and you see it come together. But it is in this full iteration with this full integration and this feedback loop of
Absolutely.
keep evaluating, does this look right?
Yeah,
Anyways,
totally.
that's the metaphor for, yeah, I could having full stack experience, even if you're just specializing one thing, is super
Yeah,
valuable because you can see that how does this all compose together, um,
yeah,
and start
totally.
iterating on that.
Yeah,
But
that's a
that's
really great
cool.
metaphor.
So
Really
when
actually.
so you're in backend, do you kind of feel like you're coming home a little bit now from back engineering? Because you mentioned that's what you deep dived in
Yeah.
the boot camp, and now
Um, yeah, a little bit. I mean, I do sometimes miss front end and I wish I could do full stack, but
now,
I don't know. There's like a lot of there's like I feel like equal amount of people at GitLab that feel like we should all be full stack and people who are like, nah. And there's also people who are like, I hate databases, so I never want to do backend. And then there's the classic JavaScript haters.
yep,
So, I would love to do full stack, but I understand that it's like maybe a little bit hard. I
yeah.
cannot imagine trying to get that reviewed like a full stack.
There's I've ended up, and we have some full stack engineers, and
Yeah.
it is really different. And I think GitLab is interesting because we have specialized teams. It means
Hmm.
we really have very specialized expectations for both, which is probably
Yeah.
different than other organizations.
Yeah.
Um, and it could be a lot to keep in one contributor's head and one MR of,
Oh my God.
you know, what's the back end flavor of this that we all expect,
Yeah.
front end flavor of this, because they get pretty deep sometimes.
Absolutely. And our front end is like fairly, complicated by nature. So I feel like
It
it's not the
is,
same as doing some full stack that's like cool backend and then just like make it a bit nice. It's actually like, it's
yeah,
really interesting, but it's intense, it's like a whole other thing.
yeah.
Um, Not gonna lie, I am happy to be leaving JavaScript testing. That is one thing
I
that
love
I'm like,
JavaScript testing. I
I know.
testing. I wish I could just write tests for tests. I love
Oh my God. That is, yeah, I mean, if it's your thing, it's your thing.
That's
It's just
awesome.
like, writing an R spec is like,
Okay, now we're
oh,
gonna have to talk about this because I actually have grown a huge appreciation for RSpec. Um,
yes.
well, maybe this is getting off subject, but you bring up a really good point with RSpec versus regular JavaScript testing. I love how RSpec testing manages the life cycle of your test subject for you. And
Yes.
the fact that we do this manually in JavaScript testing is a source of bugs or like false positives or
Yeah.
false negatives frequently. Anyways, I'm ranting now.
No, absolutely.
Uh,
No, and like our spec reads so nicely as well. You're
it
like,
it
oh,
does it does. I agree. It's funny. There's people that and I'm kind of one of them that since I'm not used to it, I kind of
mhm.
look at it and I'm like, I don't like it. I don't know what's going on here. But the more I've used it and the more I've unboxed the mystery of it, I'm like, oh, okay, I really appreciate that. And
Yeah, totally.
you talked about front end and back end. Man, I just think anything that gives you just a new perspective on something is so valuable. And
Yeah.
if you can have an open mind about that, and
Yeah.
I love about pair programming, and I hope that I can be a little controlling sometimes just because I get excited, but I love seeing everybody's their own setups and their own approaches to problems and stuff, and
Yeah.
that's awesome.
No,
Um,
me too.
I wanted to ask you a question. You worked before GitLab. We're all remote
Yeah.
here at GitLab. Did you work remotely at your previous company or?
No, it
Okay.
was like actually pretty. So at I worked like half remote in the other company where I was lead engineer, but my past company, no, it was actually like quite strictly in person because it was consulting.
Oh, right.
Um, and it's really challenging. I mean, I'm never going to go back,
Really?
like remote is like the way to go. Um,
Oh, wow.
I think remote makes people less dogmatic by nature. Like you said, right? Like everyone has their own setup. Like no one's complaining that I use Tmux, for example, because I love Tmux, and that's my setup, and I have everything just for me, right?
Yeah.
When you're in an office and you're pairing all the time, then it's like Okay, cool. Time to get used to the other person's
Or you
setup.
have your standard office equipment and it has,
Yeah.
that bit is frustrating. Yes, I do not miss
Yes.
one bit at all of here's, the IT software and you're not allowed to install anything in your development.
Oh my God, yes. Would you go back to an office?
I had a really good in-person working experience. I worked for a really
Cool.
small company. I was like developer number 2, and we
Oh,
grew to like
wow.
6 or 8 developers. So we really got to trailblaze what we were doing. I worked with my brother, and we get along super
Oh,
well.
yeah.
Uh, I remember having fond memories. Like our office was like in a historic downtown. We just walked around downtown and like talked about the programming problems, and that interaction
Yeah.
I really miss because you know me and
Yeah.
I'm a bit of an extrovert, so it's a little
Yeah.
these kind of meetings and stuff where we get to pair program over Zoom are like really valuable to me because this is
Yeah.
uh, that kind of extroverted thinking is something that really charges me, and I do miss that a bit in person.
That's true.
Um,
Yeah. I guess,
I do
the
think this
just
is the better of the two, though.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. No, and you're right. Like, it is kind of nice to be able to actually talk with someone in person and just like walk it out and like discuss ideas. Cause, I mean, I guess my partner works at GitLab, so we can actually sort of do this, but we're in different areas,
Oh no.
in different teams. But yeah, you're right. Like, just being able, it is true that like stepping away from the code is really helpful.
Mhm.
And I think that's something that as remote people, we don't really step a
That's a
lot
good point.
away. Yeah, I'm just like trying to get it done. But I do remember though the sessions where you were leading the migration,
Yeah.
which I want to ask how that's
We
going.
still do. Well, we're fully migrated now.
Oh my God.
We have like 5 specs that actually need to be our specs. Uh,
Yeah, that's
but we're like
amazing.
we're fully migrated.
Congratulations. I know that was like,
99.9% fully migrated.
man, you
We're
learned
still
so much.
pairing every Friday though, because that's now we just kind of do whatever.
Yeah. But
uh,
that's cool. Those
yeah,
sessions I think were like really nice to kind of get out of the regular routine and learn.
yeah, and I think having that synchronous interaction just gives a lot of exposure to seeing other people get to share their ideas. Sometimes it's not necessarily like that, and I have it's not natural for me to listen to other people. But this is something that has been a lifelong pursuit of getting better at for me. One thing
Yeah.
I have noticed working remotely, because I do a lot of Zoom calls and there's a little bit of a delay, like with Zoom interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere in our handbook, I don't actually remember what it says, but it says something about like interrupting people and like being, I guess, like just being graceful or like,
Yeah.
just, because it's expected that we're on a Zoom call, that there's a level of interruption between each other that's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think this spills over into just my normal conversation. So, uh, I can be a little interrupty. So
Yeah,
please stop me if I am.
it's totally fine. I am like pretty chill. So
Okay.
unless I'm like really in the middle of like something and like, unless it's rude interrupting, I really appreciate when people get excited and passionate. I'm the same. I don't think I'm an extrovert like you, but I definitely am passionate about a lot of things. So I get it. Sometimes you
That's
get
awesome.
excited. You're like, let's
That's awesome.
what if we do this? And it's it's great. So don't worry about it.
So let me ask you. So you said feeling passionate, and I think you're clearly passionate about engineering. I mean, you went to school for it, then you went to a boot camp
Yeah.
for it, and you're still here. Uh,
Yeah.
has there been a time when somebody was, maybe dispassionate about software engineering or kind of burned by it, and like maybe early in your career was kind of warning you or like telling you like, man, this isn't the thing to do for you, or
Yeah. Oh, I mean, when I first actually started, like when I first went to, look around universities and you're like figuring out what you want to do, the director of computer engineering was actually like, are you sure this is for you? Because it's really hard. And I was like, well, now it is.
oh, okay.
Thankfully, I did not get put down by that, but I was like, well, now it is. And I will see you at graduation.
That
And I
rocks.
remember thinking that in graduation, I was like, but I mean, certainly as a woman, I know a lot of women who have wanted to quit software who have warned me about this, who are like, it's just not worth the hassle. As you know, programming is like a really hard job. You know, there are days when I'm like, can't think after having like, after having worked on some really hard problems. So like, you can't really do it if you don't like it, I feel. It is so hard. And this is actually something that I wish boot camps were a little bit better at. It's kind of like telling someone like, hey, this is cool, but like, this is going to be a struggle. Like,
That's a good point. You do have to, I'm going to put this in quotes. You do have to love it.
Yeah.
Meaning that if, I'm going to be a software engineer because I like the salary that they get.
Oh no.
I hate coding.
Mm-mm. Oh no, you're going to be
miserable.
So miserable. Yeah. I mean, you have to get used to the idea of feeling dumb a lot of the times, to be honest.
But I feel like if you love what you're doing,
yeah,
and you get bad feedback or you realize, oh man, I made a huge mistake.
Yeah.
When you love what you're doing, you're going to get yourself back up and be like, okay, how do I not make that mistake? What should I do better next time?
Totally.
If you hate what you're doing and you make mistakes, then you kind of start getting close to like, I want to jump out a window kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of mentality. Yeah, no.
Please.
Totally. Yeah. I saw this meme that was like, I hate programming. I hate programming. I hate programming. It works. I love programming. And I was like, oh, my emotions have never been summed up better like than that, you know?
That's awesome.
And that's a feeling you just have to get used to a lot. You know, and that's something that I wish I was told more. Like,
that's a really good point too. I think, you know, that meme, what's awesome about it is, you know, you do part of what I think drives this love for it is that when you get a win, it's really sweet. And when you know what that feeling is like, then you start to be a lot more encouraged when things aren't working.
Oh my God, yes.
So the people that are brand new to software engineering, or really trying anything out, finding a way to make sure that you get a win is, and not just set yourself up for failures. That's a good factor for success.
Oh my God, yes.
Do you want to hop into it?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
Let's check it out. So you shared with me this really cool project that I had never heard of, and I don't even know what dev.to is. I know I live under a rock.
No, not at all. So dev.to is like really cool. I heard about it through like, I think my past company was involved somehow.
Hey.
But it's like a nice little like blog. I guess you could call it like a, and it's so friendly. I feel like the community is so good.
Awesome.
There's like all different kinds of stuff from like quite beginner to like, you know, to like quite advanced as well. So it's like, and everything like CSS, and there's also like random like, you know, careers questions and like,
oh cool,
just I think it's a really great resource, especially for people who like go to a boot camp, you know, like to continue with their education, because I think that's the main gap right now that there is, like people who are like coming out of a boot camp and they're like quite good and sort of still feeling like juniory. I hate that term actually. But still feeling like they're, you know, beginning their careers. This is, I don't know. I think this platform has like a lot of stuff for.
That's really cool. So this is just the feed of like, I guess these are popular articles that are being shared.
Yeah, like there's someone who's like, how I switched my career in my 30s.
Oh yeah.
You know, I think like, you know.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, with no degree.
This reminds me a lot of like Medium.
Yeah.
Is it similar to that?
Sort of, but I think what I found on Medium is that, well, Medium has, you know, a lot of subjects as well. These are, I think, a little bit more practical. Sometimes in Medium, I find that it's a cross post from their blog or something.
Right.
I don't know. For me, this one, I just really like it. I like that they open sourced it. You know, I love the concept of open source. It is always so daunting for me. Like, you know, because you're like, man, how am I going to put myself out there? Like, and everybody's going to judge my code. And like, you don't realize that everybody's just trudging along as well. You know, like, it's cool. And I think this represents sort of like the community that I want tech to be.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
You know what? And it's interesting. And so yeah, Medium, the whole platform, that's not open source.
Yeah.
But and this is news to me, dev.to, I guess, is run by this engine Forem or
Yeah.
this quote unquote blogging engine Forum.
Yeah.
And that is open source. And it
Yeah.
looks like it's also can be self-hosted as well for like other kind of communities and stuff. And there is something
Yeah.
special when you have like when your site is open source by nature, like you have a very different community that kind of hops on it, I think, sometimes.
Yeah, no. I'm sure there are, exceptions, but I agree. I think that just going back a little bit to like being discouraged or encouraged, like at GitLab, I feel like, I don't know, there must be something that draws people to, GitLab because of its open source nature.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have worked with like the kindest, but also the most experienced engineers I've ever worked with. Like, we have such amazing people, so smart, and everyone's like really just helpful and kind.
Yeah.
So I think this kind of like sums up the idea of what open source sometimes either
That's
should
awesome.
be or is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really cool. So this is a cool project. So
Yeah.
this is their site. And this is
Yes.
the project Forum,
Yeah.
which is platform that powers dev.to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a
Yeah.
Rails app. It's kind of big.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yes.
not as big as GitLab, which is nice.
Yeah. It
But
is. I saw, yeah. Okay, we've got Ruby.
yeah, so I just while we were on this call, I just got it working.
Yay.
I ran into some issues at first. I went to the contributing.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
yes, and I went to, did I go to the contributing? Did
The
I go?
guide. Yeah.
Yes. And then they
Cool.
talked about, yes, how to contribute, check out the installation guide.
Yeah.
Okay. And what I did was running with containers because I already have other projects and stuff running here. If I try to
Mm-hmm.
install this locally, I could run into issues where I don't have the right Postgres version globally installed, and I didn't want to mess
Yeah.
with that. So thankfully, I already had Docker installed. I
Mm-hmm.
clicked running with containers, and this was really straightforward. I just forked it.
Mm-hmm.
I did run in, and I mentioned this. I was going to mention it here on the
Mm-hmm.
recording. I ran into two issues because I have a Mac. I don't
Yeah.
know if it's my specific Docker version or if it's just all Docker versions with the Mac,
Mm-hmm.
but it did not like reading from this .env file when
Okay.
the names had a leading export. So I had to remove those. Um, that was really easy.
So did you just remove the word export and it worked?
Yep. Yeah. So
Awesome.
I think I have it open over here. Yeah, I do. Boop.
Cool.
Yeah, I just copied this env sample, copied
Awesome.
this over to .env, but you see I removed export, and that
Yep.
works for me.
Awesome.
Uh,
Cool.
but it didn't work immediately because then the next thing I realized, because I have rbenv for
Mm-hmm.
managing Ruby versions and stuff, I didn't have the Ruby version installed that they were,
Yeah.
and I noticed that when I tried to manually run. Since I was running into problems, I tried these two things out.
Yeah.
I boosted some resources, and I ran this thing. But
Cool.
now it's working, and so
Yay.
it looks like the only thing I need to run is this thing, container setup,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes. But while
Sweet.
it's loading, there were a few issues that we looked at that might be
Yes.
interesting to contribute to.
Yeah.
Which one? You mentioned the heart one. You thought that was cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I was like, as I told you earlier, I was like, I've been working on this problem for the last 2 weeks, which is like I can't reproduce a bug. And this one I was like, oh man, this is such a nice,
Nice.
well-defined bug. Um, you know, just like you were talking about like sketching first. Sometimes you see a problem and you don't know how you're going to approach it. But with this one, I'm like, Okay, cool. So and I think they included a little video in there,
Oh,
which I love
that is
videos.
amazing.
I know, I love organized things. And I was like, okay, cool. I was like, so basically you click on it and it seems like on the third or fourth click, it removes it, right?
Oh, that's wild. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, maybe this is a good one for us to work on because we can sort of think about about it in an abstract way of like, okay, and this is something I do remember about like school that they're like, write pseudocode first, which we're not going
Yeah.
to write pseudocode, but thinking about like what is probably happening.
Yeah.
It's like either there's something on the front end that doesn't like refresh the state or something, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Because you're there and like, because one thing I would like to see is like, does this happen if you hard it and then you refresh the page and then you hard it again, like
I
does
think,
it get removed?
yeah, I think they tried it out. So there's a page refresh. And then I think they do
So
another
they,
page
yeah,
refresh.
okay.
It actually persists.
Yeah, so like, but we can sort of, I think this might be a good issue for us
Yeah.
to,
This sounds interesting.
yeah, it's interesting. It's probably related to state, some
Let's
checking.
let's do it. You sound
Yeah.
excited about it. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, and I think this is probably front end mostly.
That we're going to try to create this and put together a PR for it.
Cool.
Wave.
Wait,
All right.
do we assign ourselves here or
I
something?
think they can manage
Okay.
that. This is how I saw. So uh, they have a
Cool.
really healthy contributor community.
Yeah.
They have things very nicely labeled. Every issue
Yeah.
that gets created gets a bot that automatically comments to it with a link to the contributor guide.
Yeah.
One of the things I picked up, like looking at their labels and looking at their guide, was that they were, if you see a feature request, this
Mm-hmm.
is a huge deal if you're contributing open source and you find an
Mm-hmm.
issue, you're like, oh, this would be really cool. Ideally, you'd want your change to get merged in.
Yeah.
If you see an issue requesting a feature, you want to make sure that the maintainers of the project have buy-in that this is actually something that they want to do. So
Yeah.
they said if you see a feature request, wait till you see this label ready.
Oh, yeah.
But
That's
if you
good.
see a bug, anybody can pick up a bug.
Yeah.
Um, so
Oh,
this
that's
works.
great.
It's a bug,
There
and
we go.
you've got JavaScript and Ruby.
Yep.
That's our area of expertise. Um,
Exactly.
so
Okay. Yeah, that's
it
cool.
sounds
Awesome.
good. And yeah, I just pinged that we're gonna try to hop on it. So
Cool.
hopefully we can solve it in the next hour to hour and a half.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's give
let's
it
see
a
if this
try.
thing is running yet. Let me see.
Okay.
So I started it. All right. It's
Nice.
okay.
Perfect.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay. So I guess maybe we create an account so we can start testing.
This makes up a lot. This makes a lot of sense. Let me see if I have any
Yeah.
uh
Do
happy.
you remember in the setup if there was any like seed data?
Um, there was. Yes, there was a
Okay,
bunch of
cool.
seed data that got
Awesome.
added, but apparently not a user. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Okay,
I'm gonna
cool.
call my user root, and I'll go ahead and uh, give it my GitLab email. I'm gonna do our GitLab password.
Yeah.
The few forum secret.
You
Oh, this is part of the of your env variables
okay,
from owner
cool.
secret, and
Secret.
it looks like it's just secret.
Cool.
Boom. Here we go.
Cool.
Gah! I always
Oh.
run into this Rails issue. Okay,
I know. Me too.
so I'm just gonna refresh the page.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I don't know what I'm doing.
What happens if just sweet.
This looks
I
different.
think yeah, because it seems like okay, so maybe we can log in now. Oh, config page.
I'm about to
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I feel like I run into this issue as well sometimes.
It may not like my email, but we'll see.
Yeah.
My password. What is this?
I don't know, but I think let's try going. Yeah, just refreshing without just on home, without the user sign in.
Without the user sign in?
Yeah, yeah, it might feel like, I mean, I don't run into this at GitLab, but I feel like I have run into this in the past.
I run into this on GitLab whenever it's been just hanging out for too long.
Yeah.
Let me see what this is about.
Oh, that note route matches your image, profile image.
It doesn't like my profile.
But I guess because we can see,
No route
So
matches.
interesting.
I could try just restarting this. Maybe I need to just restart it.
Yeah. Why not? Why not?
Oops. Let me
When
see.
in doubt.
Oh, I was going to try to copy the
URL.
The URL. That wasn't working.
Yeah.
Uploads, I think.
Yeah. Oh, you have a K at the end.
Oh, thank you.
Cool.
All right.
Interesting.
All right.
Huh.
I'm going to restart this and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. If not, we'll make a new profile. It's weird because you uploaded a photo, unless it's some weird error where like the photo had to be smaller or something.
Yeah. All right, let me get rid of, this is their main site. I'm gonna get rid
Yeah, but this is a great example of what we're talking about, you know? Like this is kind of software engineering. You're like, cool, I'm just gonna do this. And you're like, you're like logging in and you know, that just happens.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. Do you see what?
Oh, that's so cute. I love it.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
I can get my my pen and pad tablet out and try drawing.
Yeah, one of your sketches that you've been practicing, maybe.
I'm gonna be just embarrassing myself. Problems. I think it's because
okay. Seems like okay.
I think it's just because it's starting up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes you gotta give things time, even if it Paul Toll. Oh.
Ooh.
Who's Paul?
I don't know.
This Paul.
I guess so.
Oh, that's cool anyway. I love things like this or like creative 500 pages.
I know. Yeah, this is really creative. I like it.
Yeah, me too.
All right, let's see what happens.
Okay.
Why are you failing? Project is running. Webpack is running.
Let's see.
Looks like Webpack
doing all its stuff. Like everything is kind of okay, but then we're getting a problem.
Rails warning already. I think Rails is taking its time to start up.
Yeah, I mean containers.
What do you mean containers?
Oh man, I mean, I guess, yeah, I mean, you've seen how long Italy takes to, if you run our spec, it's like,
no, this is true.
Italy and Workhorse. This is like the same thing that was happening earlier, right?
Yeah, but this is new stuff.
Okay, 200.
Looks like it's starting. It's actually doing things.
Okay.
Preparing database. I don't know why it would be trying to prepare the data. Oh no, it's probably starting all over again. Oh wait, no, but hopefully not. Hopefully, because the containers are going to be in a containerized environment. Hopefully, it is persisting some of the data somewhere. Okay. But let's double check that. So here in their Docker Compose, and it starts Rails. Okay. Volumes, yes. It is mounting some volumes, which is good. So I imagine over when it does its Postgres somewhere.
Oh, yep. Database URL Postgres.
Oh yeah, here's the database. Volumes. DB data. So we should have a DB data here.
Yeah.
DB
Huh.
data. Yeah, what's wrong with you? How come there's no DB data? Anyways, maybe it's because I don't understand containers as well as I thought I did. All right.
Okay, I think we're good now.
Yeah, these
Are
look.
we? Or was that?
Oh, yeah, this looks happy.
Cool. Cool.
All right, I'm going to try to log in again.
What's the configuration page?
Well, it said I needed to log in.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Huh. Admin config. Okay, cool.
All right, I'm going to try this again. That was, maybe I shouldn't have done a GitLab email.
That's so weird. Can we maybe try creating another user?
Yeah, let's try that out. That's a really good idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ah!
Oh my God.
Okay. So
What if we continue with GitHub? Would it work?
Maybe I got an email. I'm going to open my
email. Yeah.
That would be interesting. Maybe I need to somehow
confirm
in a different way. Because I doubt I have like an email service actually working. So I wonder if,
let's see, troubleshooting.
Troubleshooting.
Authentication. Let's see.
We just started license. I want to, nope. How do I enable logging? Nope.
No. Okay.
I'm going to search for this specific issue
on
the internet. I can't quite figure it out. So I'm going to search for InvalidAuthenticityToken Forem.
Sorry, I lost you for a minute. You say you were going to search for,
Yeah, I'm just going to search for it.
Yeah, I think this is also really helpful to watch how people debug. No, I love doing that. I actually wish coding interviews were like, here's a bug. Let's see how you approach fixing this.
Oh yeah. When we use, all right, there are a few things going on. First of all, get this when the controller detects we are not properly passed in the cross-site request forgery token.
Okay.
ESRF stuff. Sometimes we'll need to legitimately skip this behavior. I might legitimately skip.
Yeah, let's just do it. Whatever.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah.
Set cookie domain.
So I think that goes go back to the post. I think it's in the application controller.
You would know this? Okay. And the application.
Maybe.
I think you would know this.
I would, except I haven't worked on this part in GitLab. There we go. Before action.
So this is like,
I think you're in the right one. Yeah.
I'm in the admin one, but it looks like it inherits from like the regular controller. Okay, so I'm just gonna open up that one.
Okay. Cool. Let's try it.
Maybe I can see, we put that at a lot of places.
Okay, well, there we go.
Okay. Let's try it out.
Yeah. That is interesting though that this happened. I wonder if this is like us or a bug. Oh, interesting. Huh.
Well,
that's
frustrating.
Yeah, it is.
Why is it invalid? Well, there's only one way to find out. I'm logging in with
the good old
because it didn't like Oh, did I not actually create an account?
Yeah, I totally thought I saw you. Oh, maybe when you created it, like it redirected us somewhere because.
Oh no, maybe contact yo at dev.to if you continue having trouble. Maybe I didn't do the right email. Maybe I don't really
Yeah.
know this application at all.
Oh, maybe the password was
Yeah, maybe it wasn't
different.
what I actually thought it was.
I have had this.
Okay.
Oh, weird. Okay, well now we know. The email was not persisted, I guess. Root.
All right. Can I open up the Rails console?
Yes.
You think I can just run Rails C?
Yep. And then just damn it.
Probably because of Docker thing.
Um
So I'm running Docker PS to see what containers are running.
okay. Hmm.
I see this is the one that's doing the actual port thing. So I can run, I can jump into that container. I'm going to do
Cool.
Docker. I don't know what IT stands for, but I know you got to do it. Bin bash. I want to execute the bash
Mm-hmm.
terminal for that container.
Cool.
Oh,
Oh, eh.
what's your beef?
Uh,
Maybe, maybe I did this wrong. Maybe I need to do, yes, I think I need to do IT and then the container thing, and then I can run bin.
okay.
Yes, so now I'm in.
Cool.
I'm in that container. So now
Awesome.
I might be able to run Rails C.
Oh, cool. I am learning about containers now. Cool.
Yeah, so it's really cool. Like I could, you could even, so IT is actually mounting it, so I'm getting the input and output from the terminal, but I could just run
Okay.
a command on it, which means you could like install a whole script without it actually
Yeah.
installing into your main,
Oh,
uh,
that's cool.
into your main computer. You could just install it and run it like a container. Oh, cool! So I'm
That's
here.
awesome. Sweet.
I'm
So
assuming
user
user is the
last.
thing.
Yeah, it is. So if you just go dot last, we should see you, but what I'm guessing is nothing is going to be there.
Yeah, everything started to slow down significantly. Oh,
Oh,
whoa!
oh, it's already like seated with random. Okay.
So maybe I get a user first.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, this is probably just the seeds. Maybe we can just, okay, cool. So this is probably from seeds. Maybe we can create your user directly from here. Um,
Yeah,
what do you think? User.create?
can I do it like this?
Yes. Well,
You know
so
what to do. User.create
yes, user.create email. It's like a key value. So
like that.
yeah.
I wanted to use my GitLab, but I don't know if it's gonna like that. I'll try it again.
Yeah. I mean it should, right? Yeah.
Um,
And let's just try password directly. You might need like password
I'm just gonna do
confirmation, although it
password.
doesn't
Yeah,
seem. Yeah. Cool.
I just ran it.
Oh, roll back. Oh,
Rollback is a thing, meaning it didn't work.
yeah. Let's see. User exists. Huh. User ID nil. Well, that's because organization. Interesting. Hmm.
Do you think the user
So
exists? Should I try a
no, it
different email?
doesn't seem to exist. Yeah, maybe. Or maybe you can try signing in with GitHub. What do you think? See if that works.
Well, I don't even have an account. Maybe I'll try it out. Okay. Well, no, if I actually was going to do that, I need to, that's going to open up another can of worms
Okay.
because I remember reading about, um, somewhere in here, there's like an app maybe not here. Oh, I thought to get one of these working, you need to like have the OAuth tokens or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
You might not need to. Okay. I think you actually do need to.
Okay, cool. So I guess what is the problem here?
Yeah, let me see if we can find. Can you just find?
Yep, you can. Okay, so now we know we don't exist. The weird part though is that the other people had like their own random emails, the seeds.
Yeah. Find by. Is that a thing?
Yeah, it is. It's gonna be the same thing though.
Because it looked like when I did just find, it looked like it was trying to pass that hash as like the ID.
Oh, ID, yes.
Oh no, it doesn't exist.
Okay. So can you open up the terminal a little bit? Why were we not able to create your user? That's so weird. So let's see
Yeah,
what this
let me clear this one up. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Okay, cool.
We ended up restarting this thing. So maybe though I can just sign into one of the already existing accounts. Maybe I should. Let's see if we can do that.
Yeah.
User first.
Let's see.
Will it Breitenberg?
What the? Where's
No.
Yeah, maybe we can overwrite the password.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you look for the password field?
Oh. I did a tab and it freaked out on me. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we can look for the seed.
Password.
Okay. We can probably get the password anyway from the seed file, right? So if you do a search for like that email.
Oh, great idea. Will it? Unless of course they're like randomly generated.
Yeah. Huh.
It's not liking it.
Well, we can probably just maybe overwrite their password.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Go. Yeah.
I'm pressing tab. It's giving me this.
Yeah. Huh. I don't even see a password.
So they have like, I guess backing it. There's a password thing.
True. Okay.
But I probably need to like hash it or whatever.
Yeah. Let's see.
Maybe we could see when wherever the user controller is, how they ended up creating one. Users update.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward, I guess.
User service. I do a search for password. Oh.
I wonder if the password would just be like Forem.
Default user field, site config, articles.
Oi.
Nope, not articles.
Where are we here? Let's see.
Oh, this is doing device thing. Device is a thing.
Yeah, good old device. Employer. Where's the password field?
Oh, here's seeds. Oh, user create
password.
It's just password.
That's just yeah.
I was hoping it was just password. I was almost gonna guess it too. All right, so we could try to figure all this out, but I'm just gonna.
Yeah, that's not our point.
Yes.
Cool.
Here we go.
Fingers crossed.
It's doing stuff.
Okay, something's happening. /enter. That's cool.
Oh man.
Yes.
We're here.
Great.
We've got. It's beautiful. Okay.
It is awesome. Okay. Well, now time to reproduce the bug.
Now
Cool.
all these failed images is bothering me.
I know. I know. That is the one thing when you're front end, right? You're like, you get distracted so easily by things that you're like, what is
I
going
know.
on? Even like in random websites where your like intention was something else. I still do that.
Oh,
Oh,
I agree to uphold the code of conduct and I agree to the terms.
yes.
What am I? Oh, it wants me to
We
do
can
things.
skip maybe.
Skip for
Oh,
now.
and there's also no tags.
I'm skipping.
Loading. Skip it. Yeah.
Finish.
Cool.
Okay.
Sweet.
All right. All right. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna try to recreate the issue.
Cool.
Let's stay focused. I'm gonna try not to get distracted.
I know it's hard. Trust me.
Yeah.
I have spent way too much time on random
So that
websites.
must be what happens though. It's because so this is interesting. Nothing from uploads is loading.
No.
Um,
Oh,
and when I tried to upload a file, something broke there, and it kind of fell
yeah.
on its face trying to create the user. Uh,
Yeah. Okay, this is good to remember so we can search to see if this is
yeah.
a bug.
Oh look, I have a little notification here. I said I wasn't gonna try to get distracted.
Yes.
Uh,
Don't worry.
there you go. Awesome.
Sweet.
Um,
Um, huh. Okay.
all right, but let's recreate the issue.
Yeah.
Here we go. The screen recording.
Cool.
Do you know what
So
this is?
comments. Yes.
In the
So I think those
comment.
are comments in a post. So let's go to a random post.
Okay.
Oh,
Arms and the
perfect.
man
It
on.
already has comments.
Oh, cool.
Cool. Yeah, that image is also bothering me a little bit, I must say. But I'm not going to distract us from this. But
But
I'm like,
here's the scary reality too. Like one thing that I've definitely learned, and I think people that pick up software engineering, they'll hear this advice. When you
yeah.
receive a warning, don't just ignore it. Because that actually might be the issue. Like
Absolutely. Yep. It's like,
I don't know.
okay. No, yeah, sometimes you got to learn how to ignore warnings. It's very hard. Okay.
So this example
Okay.
had hearts and
So
then there's a
let's,
thread.
yeah. So if we heart it right now, what happens? Cool. And if we heart it again,
Yeah.
huh? Okay.
I think it might be related to some like there's a thread
That,
here.
yeah, that's true. Okay. So we'll
Um,
do a reply maybe.
so to reproduce, make a comment on a
Mm-hmm.
a test post, heart the comment, and reply to your first comment with a second comment. This kind of reads like a it's bringing back memories of like playing Nintendo 64 games and they have like these cheats for like anyways
Yeah.
here-
I totally know what you're talking about.
here's the cheat on how to get two hearts on your
Yeah.
uh, two hearts.
Cool. Okay.
Oh, did it just automatically heart it?
Oh, you heart yourself, I guess.
Did I
I guess when you, because it
heart the
says make
comment?
a comment, heart the comment. Interesting.
I think I automatically hearted it when I created it.
Yes, which could be part of the problem, you know?
I think so.
Because, like, if, because the state would be like new.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, it gets automatically hearted, which I guess it's interesting functionality because, like, I guess you would heart your own comments, but that's just a bit weird. Okay. Try unhearting it. It doesn't go away. Cool. So you were right that it seems to be a nested comment problem, right?
Oh, this one was weird. The two hearts showed up before I even oh, where did
Huh.
I go now? Oh, here I am now.
Okay.
This was another interesting occurrence. I commented here.
Yeah.
something really weird is going on because I did comment here. The comment was then on top.
Yeah. Okay.
And it automatically hearted it and let me heart it twice. So here's the first issue.
Yeah. Okay.
Brand new comment. I submit.
And it hearts.
It is
Cool.
hearted, and now I can heart it twice. Let's see if that stays if I refresh the page.
Okay. Huh. I think this is a front end bug, right?
That's what it all comes down to. Doesn't it? Maybe the backend wouldn't do the wrong thing if it just
That's true.
yeah. So that's interesting. This first bug
Interesting.
doesn't persist the 2 hearts.
Interesting.
I do want to see what happens if I create and just refresh. So this is interesting. If I create one,
Will it go away?
Will it go away?
That could be, if it goes away, that could be the key to the puzzle.
Because what might be happening when the front end may actually be telling the back end or something like a certain number of hearts or something.
Huh. That one did not go away.
It did not go away.
But we don't have the little 1 on it though.
You're right.
Which is interesting. So there seems to be like maybe a few bugs.
So it is letting me.
And now you can't.
It is letting me do all this. So after refreshing, all these stay. But this one definitely has 2 hearts. I did a reply. So this is. Okay. I think we're going to be uncovering probably these are most likely all related. Yeah. What do you think? I was kind of thinking, let's see what's being sent.
Yeah.
Network requests.
Yeah, I think so. That's a great way to start.
Oh gosh. Okay. I just talked about how important warnings are, but I'm going to ignore them. Ignore all the warnings. Okay.
Cool.
So we just created one, and we're going to add heart. The comment, for some reason, is automatically hearted. So I'll skip that step. Apply to the first comment with the second comment.
Okay. And we can see this. It's going to the comment controller.
Trying to remove the heart on the first comment. It actually gets duplicated. Okay.
Okay. This is exactly what they described.
Yes. So when I posted these reactions, I guess. Request. Ooh, this is pretty.
Yeah.
Reactable type. Reactable ID.
Yeah.
Responded with, okay, we're going to create a like.
So let's see here.
So this was the second comment I created.
Okay. And then
I posted here a reaction.
Okay. There is a little reaction hash.
Oh, this is a GET. This isn't a post.
A response.
This is saying how many.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, is this for the whole article?
Yes. This is a whole comment section, right? Yeah. Huh. So the post for comments then was.
So these are the individual reactions. These are the public count.
Yep.
These counts are weird.
Yeah, this is all a bit weird. Okay, so posted reactions, but nothing in the response.
So yeah, here when I posted that, it was reactable ID 35. And here we have 35 has no reaction count. If I refresh, does it stay?
Ooh.
All right. I think we got to just start changing some things. Oh, it's going to be down
Let's
here now.
see.
Oh, now it's,
Huh.
but now it's back to 1.
That's so weird.
This does really feel like a front end issue. So
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think there's a front end weirdness going on here. So
Some state like disparity.
let's
Okay.
start auditing some console logs and try to unbox it. I'm kind
Yeah.
of curious, how do we find this thing? The voted
Button for comment.
button for comment.
Yeah. Why? What are they using a framework for the front end?
Bring up a really good question.
Nice.
How about
Okay.
no framework?
Okay. Cool.
My mind.
ERB. Yeah.
Hence the state management issues.
Yes. Here's a pitch for Vue.
Yeah, so this is interesting.
Okay.
Oh man, we are
This is
Ajaxing this for reals.
Let's see. Initialize comments page. Wow. Okay. This is intense.
It is. So I'm gonna change this to a. Man, is this really where it's coming from? I want to double check. I'm gonna console log here.
Yeah.
Does this work? Doing it.
Cool.
Hopefully
like...
it'll pick up on some sort of change happening to the front end. Webpacker's compiling.
Cool.
That is fantastic news.
Oh man, that was a very big function.
Yep.
Very, very big.
I love going through these kind of functions.
Oh, wow. But you are right about the state management though.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting on trying to solve it, but I think it's going to be probably focused on simplifying a lot of what's going on. Which could be cool. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Okay, let's see if we got our console. Oh, still loading. What is going on?
It's taking
just really slow. Yeah.
I think it's probably because Webpack is doing its very large thing.
Jeez.
Oh yeah, boom. There's everything.
Cool.
While that's loading, maybe there is a better way to do that. The other contains, one contains plain JavaScript.
Okay.
The other contains Webpacker, which is an app JavaScript.
Okay.
Okay. We must be in plain JavaScript world.
Oh yeah.
Well, it says app JavaScript. Oh yeah, written use. I think we're in
ES6. Yeah, I think so. Okay.
Being served using sprockets.
Okay.
Bootstraps the majority of functionality. Sweet.
Okay. Cool.
Oh my goodness, this is having a really tough time.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Is it like, oh, does this work? Am I doing it right? We got a console. We got a console log, but that was kind of it.
Oh, did the console log actually show up?
Yeah, I did.
Well, I didn't know. Maybe my console log blew everything up. Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Cool. So let's see.
All these requests. Yes,
oh, there we go.
And we did it twice.
Okay, that's interesting. Huh.
Sure
okay, well, now we know where we are. Sort of.
Yeah, it's really scary it did it twice. I don't think it's a good thing. Which means when I hit a button, is it going to do it twice?
Twice? And is that... Okay. Yeah, simplifying this would be great. Even though that's quite an endeavor. Um,
Oh,
okay,
it's
so
good
you
now.
just, okay, did you, oh,
I'm just
cool.
clicking on this and seeing what happens. But anyways, um,
Okay,
s-
let's see.
so one of the things that we see when we first create it, we are, when we first create this thing, it's hearted.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can heart it again and I can't get rid of the heart.
But then you refresh and the heart goes away, right?
Yes. So
That is weird.
let's figure out when I first, where I actually create this thing.
Yeah, okay.
So here we got button for comment. Where I'm getting
So
this
let's see.
ID. This is build the comment HTML.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, if comment newly created.
Oh, where's that? Did you see something?
Yeah, just where, there you go. Your cursor's right there. If comment newly created, then you return this with the heart. Okay, which is
Um,
normal. Oh, and one heart. Interesting. What is this? Voted heart. So this is the one that creates the first heart once you create the comment. Is this voted heart?
let's check it out. Let's create a new
Yeah.
comment. Boom. What is going on here? Voted heart. Why
Oh,
is this
voted
hidden?
heart.
This is hidden because we, by default, if it's a reacted
Okay.
reaction button, so we're creating it reacted by default if we've newly created. Cool.
Okay.
I click on the voted heart, which is
Okay.
awesome. Like I keep running into these emo band names with coding. One that came out with the Jess migration was "Wait for Promises." Uh, Voted
Oh
Heart's
man.
pretty good too. Anyways,
Yeah.
um, okay. So I want to look for when we're doing this voted heart stuff. Are you there, Laura? You froze. Uh-oh.
Oh, sorry, I
Oh,
lost you again.
no,
I
you're
did
good.
not
Are you
know it
there?
was. Anyway, yeah, I'm
Okay.
here. Cool. So voted heart.
Oh, so it doesn't. Oh, it must be. It's the button that's actually getting clicked. Sorry, I was looking for voted hard. I thought we were clicking on the image, but we're actually clicking on the button, which makes
Okay.
sense. So we want
Cool.
to look for reaction button. Get elements by class name, but
Okay. I know. Come on.
that
Butts.
I haven't seen that yet. I'm glad that I've seen it. Okay, on click. Oh man, I would suggest using jQuery here.
Yeah,
Anyways,
absolutely.
but yeah, this is good old legacy code.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
3 years ago.
yeah,
Okay.
so we're getting this bud class add
This butt.
reacted. The success callback. If it's a create, ooh,
Oh man.
okay.
Tell me what you're
Somehow
thinking.
when we're clicking it,
Mm-hmm.
we make a request and it's actually coming back that we can create this reaction.
Okay.
So, and then what it does is it parses whatever numbers inside there.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to increment or decrement it. And
Okay.
so like right here, I just created it. I click it. It's coming back telling me, hey, this is a create thing.
Yeah.
We should create this thing. But I'm guessing that the answer is no. It actually needs to not be a create thing.
Yeah. It
Um,
needs to check.
so let me check one more time. A new comment, am I liked already? It looks like I am, but if I refresh the page, I want to see from the backend's perspective, am I actually liked or not?
Okay.
Because this may be a backend issue, which actually might be nice because the JavaScript code doesn't look very friendly.
Oh my God, I know.
Okay, here we go. Where am I? Am I liked already? Yes.
Okay, so you're liked already.
So
But
it is
even
liked.
without the badge, which makes me, oh man.
Yeah, that is weird. Oh, but look, I clicked on it. Oh, I don't even know what I'm doing. Why would it be filled in?
I know this is like a two-part problem, right?
It is. Talk about issues that are easy to recreate. You could recreate it, but there's so many issues.
I know. So this only happens though if you refresh, right? Because if you create a comment and then like it again, we get the behavior that the other person is talking about, I think.
Yeah, it is really weird that this thing doesn't show up. Let's figure that out too. This reactions count of why would this, is it even rendered here? It's not even rendered here.
Yeah, which means that it's probably thinks it doesn't have anything.
Why would it not even be rendered?
So let's see.
Okay, I have my reaction button. I thought this is where we build it.
Let's see. So I guess I'm trying to just understand this function first and see. Favorite heart outline, favorite heart button, the emoji one heart. Oh,
here's some other kind of things. Comment proper. This is how we properly render comments.
Okay. Let's see.
We might be missing the number here.
Favorite heart outline. Where's the reaction, the little badge?
So yeah, that's, you notice that's what's missing. That's one thing that's missing here.
Yeah. That's kind of weird. So it's like this gets rendered first and then this gets rendered.
Yeah. Here is the reactions count. I want to see where all that is at. Let's see, find reactions count. Yeah, so it happens here. And then I don't think we like ever remove it. Oh, here's one.
Initialize and build. Interesting.
Oh, it looks like we might be actually like, if public reaction counts, that count is greater than 0.
So if there is a reaction,
Oh, I think that, so I think what's happening here, because all of these other, yeah, if we look at everywhere that, what is it called again? I forgot the name of the button reaction. Oh yeah, here we go. The reaction button. If we look everywhere reaction button is, and I think we're finding this. I think Rails is generating the template for this, and like I bet we could even do view source. Oh no, but it does this asynchronous loading thing, so that wouldn't work out. But I think Rails is generating this template here, and it doesn't include the reaction counts because, like, even right here, we see. but that's expected to be added, I think, from the JavaScript after we fetch the counts.
Yeah.
We'll add them, and sometimes we don't have them. The goal, I think, the UX for me, reverse engineering this is only if it's greater than 0, I guess, do we want to add that. Otherwise,
Yeah. I guess it's always going to be greater than 0 if you heart your own comment all the time, right?
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bring up a good point there. This is button comment 38. Let's see what we get from the back end. There is a reactions.
There you
go. Public reactions.
Okay.
It said 0, so we didn't. I guess maybe they don't include your own, maybe?
Yeah, it's like weird because it's at 0, but it's still outlined, which I understand, I guess. So,
but then this is really weird that this one has
yeah. I'm having a hard time I guess my first question is like, is this meant to, are you supposed to like your own comment first? I think that's like the question, because if you are supposed to have your own comment, then there's no point in checking ever if it's 0, because it will always be more than 1. But then I assume that's not the case, and that might be another bug, because why else would there be all these checks, right? But also here, when you unclick it, you still get the little badge saying 0. Oh man, and now this badge is out of sync. It says 1. Oi, this is a lot more going on here. Oh man, and now there's no heart.
Yeah, let's see what happens to when I refresh this.
Yeah. I cursed us because I said, this feels simple.
Look, it still counts as me liking it.
Okay.
I'm going to try to actually just get rid of all the hearts on here. That one didn't work.
Who knows? Oh, it worked after the second try.
Oh no. What?
Oh man.
Now, that's really weird. That's a good sign that something is amiss.
Oh yeah. There are a lot of things amiss here, I think.
Yeah, so we get
So
okay, so it counts as me having liked these, even though I really, really tried. So like, here's new comment, am I liked already? Yeah. Something really weird's there.
yeah, and then you click again and the heart gets removed, the red heart, but the badge is still the same.
Right. Why is it filled in? What's telling it to fill itself in?
Yeah.
Let's figure that out. What's telling it to fill itself in?
Yeah.
Because
okay, so voted heart is what fills it in. And the other one is outline.
Okay, it's just this class reacted. That's what changes this thing. Reacted.
Okay.
Okay. I have reacted, clearly. I want to remove it. I want to remove my like.
Yeah.
What is telling it that it's reacted? If I go to reaction button. Oh, reaction cached. Any reactions for?
What?
Oh no.
Okay, caching.
I know. Yeah, this might be really hard.
Yep. Yeah, I think this is the kind of thing that we would break down into way smaller pieces.
All right. We can do it. I know we can solve this.
Okay, so
I wonder if we end up so what I'm gonna look for is a string reacted anywhere. To see if we are just adding this class somewhere. Okay, yeah, here we go.
Okay, here we go. And this is on the initialize. It's this big ass function.
When we get this thing, we parse the response, public reaction counts for all the reactions.
Oh.
button for comments,
reacted.
element by.
So.
Oh, okay. So this is. I was looking at this one. This is comment 38. I'm actually going to just console log this response.
Yeah.
Got the response. Okay.
Cool. Oh man, this is a big function.
Yeah, and it's not. It's scary. It's not even using jQuery, and it's doing this baked. And
yeah. Well, I'm guessing that's why everything is kind of like in this.
Yeah. We might find some things we can extract out of here, and that's going to be the huge challenges. And this is the classic hurdle for engineers: is how do we not try to just rewrite everything when it's not working?
I know. That's actually
No,
sorry,
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's actually when you're like, okay, but I guess it's open source, so you can't make these decisions. Like, okay, if this is legacy code from 3 years ago, what is the point where we're like, should we start introducing something friendly like Vue? Like, we can't make this decision, but this is where I'm like,
right. Well, this thing is kind of freaking out. I'm gonna see what their other front end code looks like. Oh, look at this left sidebar.
Cool.
Oh man, they're using React. Sweet.
And I'm like,
that looks nice.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that might be migrating.
Okay. Looks like we got the thing. I'm surprised they didn't give me my other console log. Oh well.
That's weird though, because
yeah, maybe I saved it. And
it's
taking Webpack a while to figure it out. But here we have our public reactions.
Okay.
Oh no! Here we have this
reactions.
There's only one in there.
Oh man.
All right. Here I'm trying to say, why in the world is it giving me why in the world is it giving me this? Oh, where did it go? Oh, it's over here. Why did it give me the reacted bit? I'm 38. This one is 33.
Okay.
Over here it says 38 has one like. Current user.
Okay.
Reactions.length. Button for comment.
So reactions.length. Okay. More than one reaction. You just add the red heart.
Yeah, so I guess it's not doing this counting as this one. And if I go to 38, let me check too where we get this. Where do we get the actual response for like this? Got to give this like a big HTML response, right?
Yeah.
Let's see if we get that somewhere. That would be helpful.
I'm
doing too much here. I've got multiple consoles going.
Yeah.
Here we've already loaded the boom, 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 boom.
Where?
Reactions. I wonder if I do view source, it will actually like give me the. You just do like this view source.
I think.
Oh, it doesn't like it.
File. Yeah.
There's all the stuff I'm working
on. Oh my god.
All right.
Whew.
All right. We're inlining all this SCSS. That's fine. It's called Reacted.
There we
Oh, it's
go.
going to take me through all this.
Oh my God, through all the CSS. Yep.
And it's not actually going to contain the, does it contain it? No, then it took me through
No.
the
Okay.
oh, here we go. Here we go. This is it. Great. Okay.
Cool.
That's what we get from the comment.
Let's see.
And it does not say reacted.
It does not.
So we are adding this reacted bit after our JavaScript runs. Let me close dev.to out. We got the response. So somewhere after our JavaScript runs, we actually are loading the reacted bit. We're adding it.
You mean somewhere after this runs? Weird. Okay.
Yeah. So I want to see where all are we doing reacted as a string, because that's how we would add it. Looks like we also do it over here for all nodes. I bet it's over here. Where's all nodes coming from? We get everything as a single comment node.
Oh my God. This is.
If we get a single comment node, data set current user comment equals true. Oh no, we're setting that. Oh wait, the data set of the comment author ID equals the current user ID. Then we're setting this to be a current user comment. But
that's interesting.
Of user actions.
What?
We're just setting it to
edit. No matter
what.
Okay.
Here's a good thing. Fix reading list comments reaction.
Interesting.
We can see what that's all about. But I wonder.
Yeah, that is it commented or is it just like the way it's reading this?
Yeah, so that's what's weird is this is not explaining. It's not actually comparing if I've actually reacted to anything, right?
There's so many places where this is being added as well.
Yeah.
Which is very confusing because the way I see it, it's like one check, that's it. You don't really even need to know. The only thing you need to know is there a reaction, and that's it. But it seems like it's being added in 3 different places.
Yeah, this is scary.
I'm
scared, Laura.
I'm also scared.
I don't feel happy anymore.
Me neither. So
I kind of wonder, let's just delete everything and see if we can easily recreate this using one of their other features. But there's a lot going on there too. Too, if we need to just rewrite this in it, because the options, if we're going to rewrite it, because it looks like they're using React. So one option is move everything they're doing from the server side over to React to build its own stuff. Which would be nice because then we get all the state management and things in React.
That's why I was like, and I guess this is just a general like question is like, if there's already React, like, I don't know, sometimes I have a hard time like figuring out what the best effort is. It sounds like this needs a big refactoring. I guess like a lot of things are patched together.
It would require, and here's a scary thing, like if you're going to do it, you'd want to move all of this to React. The whole comment list. Oh, look, I got rid of that line, and look at this now.
Interesting.
So they're not all, this one is not commented. And what if I click on this one?
Oh, look at that.
It's looking significantly more
So accurate. It's actually working. I think the problem is now the badge. But like the heart itself is actually fine now, right? You're like
Yeah.
clicking and unclicking and it.
Yeah, I think that was it, because I think elsewhere we're doing a condition to see like, oh, have we reacted to this?
Yeah.
Here's, I think, the big takeaway.
Mm-hmm.
For one, you got to have a single source of truth for this state.
Yes.
And for two, CSS classes make a really, really poor single source of truth for that.
Oh my God.
Because
Yes.
it's hard to maintain, and we end up
Mhm.
generating these classes a lot, that it looks like we're not doing it consistently. And that was what was going on here. Is anytime what we did for all nodes, or anything that was just a single comment node, I wonder what that
Yeah.
is. If it was a self-created one, we added the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't sound like the thing we want to do. But
No.
now what I'm curious about is if I actually do,
New comment, will we get it
I'm
filled out?
writing a new one, and I really hope I like it. Hopefully this one persists. So here's my new one. I've got my heart there.
Okay.
Refresh the page.
Oh man. Yeah, I think.
If this fixes it, we got lucky. Uh-oh.
Oh,
No.
where is the comment even?
I don't even see it. Oh,
This is
maybe I need to
also
reload
like
more comments. I hope.
the entire comment. Man,
Am I
this
missing
is.
comments?
I think so. Oh, this is even more buggy than we thought, maybe. We just removed a heart and now the comment is not there.
Uh-oh. Oh, no,
Boy.
maybe it's invisible. Or some error happened. Hopefully not an error.
Let's see.
I'm writing,
I'm writing it.
and I really hope I like it.
Okay.
Apparently, I do not like
No.
it. But
Oh,
maybe that's
man.
intentional. Maybe I shouldn't be liking my stuff I create right away.
No, I
Right?
don't think you should. Yeah. I mean, this would be a product question, but that seems odd
It does
to
seem odd.
like your
And
own.
it seems a little like you don't like that person that subscribes to their own YouTube channel. I've subscribed to
Yeah.
their channel.
This is a bit different. Yeah, no, totally. I guess this is the equivalent of what Reddit does, you know? Um,
Oh, does Reddit do
where,
that too?
yeah, you write a comment and it upvotes your own comment, which is kind of cheating. I know it's like voting for yourself, I guess, which who else would you vote
Yeah.
for?
If
I guess, but
everybody, yeah. So let me see from the back end, did we get that we like this?
okay.
So I'm looking at our data that we get from the console. Okay, here we go. Got the response. Looking for this.
Nothing.
And it says we don't have a reaction.
Mm-mm. Hmm.
And I want to double check here that the count is right. 39.
Man, I'm even more
39.
confused
Yeah.
now.
So
When you created it, though, it showed up as a little heart, right? And now we refreshed it and it's fine.
yeah, so I wonder if from the back end, what we should do is when I create a new comment, say that I've reacted to it, because that's actually what's happening here on the front end.
Yeah.
But what we're actually doing here is look to see if I created it ever,
Mm-hmm.
and then like it. And then elsewhere we're saying, hey, have I liked this thing?
Yeah. There's so much going on right now.
Yeah. There's
Is
a whole lot. But
yeah.
hopefully we might have unveiled the next step, which might require a back end thing. But what I'm curious now too is, can I delete comments? Oh, I can. I'm gonna delete some of these because we
Yeah.
got. Oh no! It's a whole other page.
Oh man.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, yeah. No.
I'm not gonna
This
delete all of them.
yeah, no. This is even more
Just start
recent to,
numbering them, I think. Um,
yeah. This is even more recent to move to something with state management.
oh yeah, that's a good point. Is that
This is
whole you
a
can't do the whole single page thing either,
no.
and
And
it's a
this
lot.
is a perfect use case for it.
Yeah, there's some patterns you could do with vanilla JS to like, kind of mimic a framework.
Hmm. Yeah.
But this is scary. Like, hopefully we don't also. I'm not even gonna. I am bringing it up, but you have cross-site scripting things that this is could just be bleeding with, uh,
Yeah.
which I'm gonna
No.
try to cast a blind eye to. Um,
It's hard, huh? Um, oh man.
okay, so what I'm curious about is what happens if I create one and then I like it. What does that my backend response look like? Uh,
Okay. That's good.
so I'm gonna do. Let's say this is comment 11. I don't actually know what it
Hmm.
is. Uh, I created, liked, refresh,
Okay.
but now. Boom, I created it. It says I automatically like it. I click it again.
And the second.
There's two of them, but let's see what happens when I refresh.
What was that line that is the line still commented out? The other line?
It is, yeah.
Oh man, what was that line even doing?
It was adding anytime it detects that I created something, always show the heart, which
Okay.
isn't accurate
Even,
because I could unlike something that I've done. Uh,
yeah. And also that's, I guess, when you created it, it already showed a button.
yeah, so look at this. The backend is already doing it this way. The backend is doing it where it's
Mhm.
not liked by default.
Okay.
I think what we should do, and let me know what you think. So either A, we need to change the backend so that it is liked by default, which the front end is doing, or change the front end to actually mirror what the backend is doing. And my gut is telling me, let's change the front end to actually mirror what the backend is doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, I mean,
You froze again, I think.
oh shit. Oh
You're good.
yeah, you froze. Okay, cool. I agree with your gut. Um, I haven't really looked at the back end, so I don't know how messy it will be, but it feels like the front end needs some serious help.
Yeah.
So
It
okay.
would be nice to also get rid of the, because that's affecting, I think it's causing this whole double like thing as well. So,
Yeah.
I think it's worth just trying out and getting their eyes on it, and they may not like it, and that's fine. So we got rid of this line,
Mm-hmm.
which was automatically adding a heart to anything I've ever created, which is inaccurate because we really only want this thing to do that.
Yeah.
Um, then what we're interested in doing is when I create a new thing,
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't automatically like it.
Yeah. Correct. So I think we have a
So let's, uh, there was that, yeah, build comment. I think this is it, right?
yes, that was one.
Yeah, if it's newly created,
Mm-hmm.
I'm
So
I'm
then
suggesting it would be like
we
this to be
yeah.
accurate.
And that one, right? The emoji one, heart, is the filled in heart, right?
Uh,
Or,
yes, but I removed the reacted class,
okay, so it doesn't matter.
so it should fix
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, we need some clarity anyway on what is the expected behavior.
yeah,
Because maybe you and I are like, why would you like your own thing? But
yeah, and they may like it because it may be like Reddit.
yeah.
But uh, and that's and that kind of, hopefully we can then get some collaboration and guidance from them on it, which would be cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see, we're at the, I feel like we might be out of, oh no.
Oh dear.
I think
Filter XSS?
I think it's Webpack that's in the middle of, or Sprockets at this point. It's figuring itself out.
Okay.
Webpack needs to wait for promises.
Yeah. This was a very interesting problem anyway. It kind of tied with what we were saying about making code maintainable.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand why people do what they do because time and, you know.
But I think,
yeah.
But you mentioned, and you have your foot in both worlds a little bit right now, more so than I do. Oh no, did I just ruin something?
If something got ruined because of that line, then
I wonder if I messed up. Oh, I probably don't have you're right. I haven't closed off my screen here.
Oh my God, good. Otherwise we would have bigger problems.
What I was gonna say is, you have your foot in both camps, both back end and front end. And we talked about when you're at university and you learn these like high level things, you kind of start to see like that's all you know, and so you see things as like, oh, it's this linked list.
Yeah.
When you're like deep in back end, okay, I guess I got to do some front end now.
Yeah.
I think sometimes I think you see some really good engineers, and this happens to me, and I did it recently when we were contributing a pull request, and it was in a language I had never written in before. It was a lot of fun, but I knew I needed some help and feedback on it from someone that was an expert at how to organize things and in that world.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's it's tough.
And I guess this happens like, that's the thing with front end, right? Too. You're like, this works. And it's great. It's so satisfying, right? To see something working on the browser. So like, you're like, cool, this seems to work the way it's supposed to. And I guess a lot of the times you move on. Okay.
Okay. So now I'm going to comment 12. I shouldn't like this by default.
Okay.
It's not liked by default.
That's great.
I'm going to refresh the page.
Do it.
Or actually, I'm going to keep this one open, and I'm going to open it in a new tab.
Okay.
But then it was also talking about doing stuff with threads. We had the issue mentioned threads. We've just been dealing, I think.
I know.
I think we might have solved the problem, but hopefully, I don't know.
Hopefully for every case.
Yeah. All right. It's not liked by default. Here we go. Now I liked it.
Okay.
So I'm going to go back here and refresh it and see what it looks like.
Oh, you like that? Even though the badge seems to be another problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's a whole.
Oh, that's the other one. Yeah.
All right. I liked it. And so now, yeah.
Cool.
So I liked it, and it's recording it now, which is great. So I can probably unlike it. Great.
Oh, cool.
I think we might be good. So one final check, and then we could probably press eject. I want to actually walk through this example and double check that we've fixed this one. It's going to be looking completely different though.
Yeah.
Because they're these ones have been created by default. So I think we did fix it because I'm already looking at it and I know that we don't have all of those. We'll just follow these.
Yeah.
Make a comment on a test post.
Heart the comment, reply to first. Okay.
So let's do this.
And it's Yeah, and it's interesting that the person said heart the comment, like it wasn't hearted by default.
Yeah, I don't know. Here's comment 13. We're
Let's
going to
see.
walk through this. Whoa, it made it
Cool.
to code. Make a comment on a test post. Heart the comment. Reply to your first comment with a second comment.
Okay. Oh, that's amazing. Cool.
I didn't even add, I'm so glad we didn't even add any lines. We just removed
I
it.
know, which is like the best kind. You
Oh,
see how you went from not happy to happy, just like the meme?
I am. You're right.
Exactly like the meme.
Let's see. Here we go. Yep. Great.
Yep.
All right. Yeah,
Cool.
there's still some issues here, but
With the badge.
I
Yeah.
think this is at least a starting point. What I what might be fun to do while we're on the call
Mhm.
is to record this behavior
Yeah.
for the PR so that they could see
Yes.
what's happening.
I love videos on descriptions.
So yeah, do you want to do that right now? We're going to
Let's do
record
it.
on Zoom, but then I'm going to use QuickTime to record all of this, and
Awesome.
we'll see what happens. Uh,
Awesome.
let me open up QuickTime Player.
Cool. I didn't even know you could record with QuickTime.
Oh yeah, it's really nice. So I go to New Screen Recording, and I am yeah, I have my mic all set up too and stuff. So it's
Cool.
um, hey, so we were pair programming on this issue. Unable to remove hearts on comment chain, heart is duplicated. And basically, whenever they created a thread and they created a comment, what was previously happening was it looked like everything was hearted by default. But that wasn't actually the case. So then when they re-hearted it, then it showed that there was two hearts, that they added two hearts. There's no way to even get rid of that last one. And even when you refresh the page and stuff, it persisted this double heart behavior. While we were diving into this, we saw all sorts of weird behavior. Um, that was one way to recreate it. But something that we uncovered was that the front end makes a lot of decisions based on if the classes are applied, whether it's reacted or not. And from the front end, anytime I used to create a new comment, it would be reacted by default. But the back end did not treat it as reacted by default. So the change we made was over here. Oh, these are just console logs. We removed, oh yeah, this is another thing too. But the biggest change we made was removing, when we're creating this React button, we do not treat it as reacted by default, so that we are mirroring the actual backend behavior. And here, this line was automatically showing anything that I've created, even if I've unliked it, as liked. So we removed that line. And now the behavior kind of works. So here's following the steps: make a comment on a test post. Oops. Comment on a test post. There we go.
Not
So
liked.
it's not liked, which is actually consistent with what the backend shows. The next step then says to reply to the first comment with, oops, wrong one.
Heart.
Yeah, here's a second comment, submit, and I can heart it, unheart it, and I'm not getting weird double heart stuff. And that's because of some inconsistency with how we're checking if something is really reacted from the front end and the back end. So we treated the back end as the source of truth, but this isn't actually reacted. Thanks for watching. And now I'm going to say, how do I stop recording? Where is it? Okay. Boom. So yeah, so we just recorded our recording. In our recording,
Cool.
recorded a recording, which might have been redundant. Yo, dog.
Okay.
Like recordings. Uh,
Wow.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting and fun, and it was
Yeah.
fun getting it set up. I'm glad it all worked with Docker stuff. Uh,
Yes.
I'm just saving
And
now.
yeah.
Recording of reacted behavior for Forem, and I'm gonna include this on the merge request,
Cool.
and that's it.
Yeah. Wow. That
How do
was
you?
great.
Yeah. Sorry, I drove the whole time.
It's totally fine. It was probably better for recording purposes,
Well, we
honestly.
could. Yeah, we should switch off. Did you get it running? Have you got it running locally or?
Let's see. Ugh, no.
Okay.
There's like, I think it's the Ruby version.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, with between my JDK and everything that was running, I think it's just like, I was just
Oh.
like, no, you can't do this. It's a Mac.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Yeah. No. Well, yeah. Thanks for picking the project. It was really interesting, and I haven't worked on, and I haven't contributed to an open source like full application. So that was neat.
yeah, yeah,
Or
me
like a full
neither.
like an actual web application.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
but
yeah.
thankfully they had some good docs. It was good getting set up and stuff. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
do
No,
you have
thank you
any
for
thoughts or
driving.
feelings?
Um, no, that was actually really fun.
Good. I'm glad.
Thank you
I'm
for
glad it had a
driving.
happy ending. It almost didn't.
Yes,
Uh,
it almost didn't, although yes. And I was like, what am I going to blame? The code, whatever. Like, but it was so great. It was exactly like the meme. We started hating it, and then it worked, and we're like, awesome. So
yeah. What's
yeah,
What's scary is like, if we were doing it right, we would have some tests for this thing. So we haven't looked into like, do they expect this code to be super tested? My guess is not. The fact that it's super broken.
yeah,
If we
I
were
think
if
so.
we were really responsible contributors, we would add tests. But I might do that. We'll see.
Yeah,
So I'll ping you on the PR. And thanks for hopping on. It was good chatting with you. And
yeah,
uh, yeah, I'll let you go and get on with the rest of your day. And
yeah. No, it was great chatting with you.
thanks for watching and for pairing today. Bye.
Yeah, thank you so much.